Now, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, and the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industries, Mine and Agriculture, NACCIMA, have blamed the government's hastily implemented policy shifts for the current socio-economic crisis facing the country. NECA President and Chairman of Council, Taiwo Adeniyi, expressed concerns that the removal of fuel subsidies and exchange rates liberalisation have caused significant market distortions and increased business costs, leading to a contraction in business activities since mid-2023. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria also highlighted challenges such as foreign exchange volatility, inadequate power supply, and high inflation as major issues impacting their operations in the first quarter of 2024. These challenges, according to MAN, resulted in a 20.7% increase in production and distribution costs during this period. All three organizations have urged the government to engage in thorough consultations with private sector stakeholders on policy matters and to consider the overall interest of the country within prevailing circumstances. Let's get some perspective on this. I'm joined by an economic analyst, Akin Fatunke. Akin, thank you for joining us. What are the key factors driving the high inflation rates in the country, and how do these impact both businesses and consumers?
Thanks for having me, Felicity. A pleasure to be here. The factors are well known. In fact, it's there in the marketplace when you have physical inconsistencies and inefficiencies not marrying itself with what we are having in the monetary policy. We have supply chain disruptions, we have currency fluctuations, we have high energy costs, and of course, food inflation. You see the numbers beyond 40% lately is gone off the roof. Added on to that, inherent problems of security, farmer herdsmen, alleged, if you permit me to put it that way, some funny action by nationals. When I say that, I hear that sometimes food that are supposed to come from the north is being hijacked, and vice versa. So imported inflation is already carrying the day. Well, you must also understand that these factors impact businesses in no small measure. And so NACCIMA, MAN, and the captains, or those who are supposed to be manning the captains of industry, will not be making those statements they are making out of tune. We've got to listen to them because they increase their production costs, they reduce their profit, they reduce their margins, and are affecting investment decisions, long-term investment decisions. We see companies voting with their feet out of Nigeria, partly because of some of this ineffectiveness that we see around, and again because of corporate decisions to rejig their business model. So those basically will be the things that I think we all know is affecting inflation, and the galloping inflation, whether you are talking about headline inflation, whether you're talking about food inflation, whether you're talking about urban inflation, whether you're talking about migration-related inflation into major cities. Those are the basic factors.
The situation is certainly tense, but how, in your view, can the government have implemented these policy shifts more effectively to mitigate the negative impact on the economy?
Metamorphosis is a concept in biology whereby you metamorphose, you do management of change. That's what you call it in business. And the fact that there are certain things you do, bam, 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 and then there are certain things you want to do gradually. I want to be clear about something in my intervention this evening. NACCIMA, MAN have not, to the best of my reading, such that those distortions that we have in the economy, the rogue deregulation system that we had, and the arbitrage that we have in the foreign market system should not be tackled. What I hear is that they should be tackled in a much more holistic fashion. Implementation has been rough, I must say. So if you are coming from the upstream, okay, you are coming from the head and you want to reach the toes, you don't have to get to the mid-region before you alert the toes, the heftiness, the heaviness, the density of what is coming on, so that the toes can do a bit of a mitigation. It will hit the toe, no doubt about that. But the way a manner is going to hit the toe, it's going to be a bit different. And secondly, and most importantly, Felicity, is the fact that yes, those things are going to hit. We have the electricity issues, whether in the tertiary institutions, universities. UI is going on strike because they want to start to ration energy arising from band A, band B, band C. And then, of course, the domino effect that a lot of the fuel transportation costs, including the attitude of our people, not trusting government. And because government is not being trusted and government is doing own goals almost at every turn, not putting their coat according to their not moving within character, not looking at the wage demands as quickly as possible. Yes, I mean, making it to be very realistic and dragging it on, posing a lot of challenge.
Okay, let me just quickly squeeze in this one. I know we're out of time already, I'm told. Quickly, how do the criticisms from NECA, MAN, and NACCIMA reflect broader concerns within the private sector about government policy making? I know it's time, but just in 30 seconds, if you can.
Hugely. We must listen to them, okay? We must, like we say traditionally, town meets the gown, okay? Industry, we must get them. You see, you cannot, was it Abiola that said that you cannot shave a man's head behind him? We must also get their inputs. We must not continue to now say that we know it all. Yes, that's exactly how we know it. Because NACCIMA, MAN, and the private sector, they are the ones at the downstream, and they can help you give input. I say something. These criticisms are not necessarily being anti-government. These criticisms can help government. And so, Felicity, you may be coming from an angle known well to you, and you have your point. I could be coming from the other angle. But by the time we marry the two, I will get some great input from where you are coming from, which I didn't know.
I guess consultation is at the heart of your submission. I will have to leave it there. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us.
Consensus is the name of the game. Thank you very much, Felicity, for having me.